while I'm cooking. And we'll probably do that next week. I actually got a rig coming in the mail, so my setup will be a little bit better. Right now we're a little janky. We posted up on some boxes with the hopes that my cell phone don't fall off. If you are in the room, let me know. Okay, there we go. I see you, cousin. Got your wine ready. Casey Grant, Shelly. I'm gonna wave as many people as I can until. What's up, Sam? Until I need to actually start doing some cooking. So yeah, I hope everybody's staying safe out there. Same thing as last week. I just saw that Dallas is actually did a shelter in place until May. I'm assuming that's going to come from for everybody else because people don't know how to sit down somewhere and abide by the rules. But, you know, it kind of is what it is. You just got to stay positive. Do stuff like this to keep you from going crazy. Yeah. So, we got a couple people in here. So, what I'm going to cook today, we're going to do two things. The first thing is going to be a little bit of a, look at Chris and Amy. I'm going to do two things today. I'm going to cook supposed to be a quiche. I went out to try and get a pie crust today. Didn't happen. They were out. I went to 2 stores. That was enough stress for me. So it's pretty much going to be a frittata. I could have went through the trouble of making a pie crust, but I'm not a baker. I'm a cook. So there's that. So we're going to do a frittata, and then after that, we're going to do fried rice. The reason, there's my cousin Chauncey, there's Keisha. I'm just going to keep waving at people until I start cooking. So yeah, the reason why I'm doing these cooking videos, honestly, because there's a lot of people out there that don't know how to cook. They're stuck in the house. You know, they may be wasting money on takeout, that kind of stuff. And also I'm doing these 2 particular dishes today because it's essentially everything that I already had in my fridge. And, you know, you can pull all these same ingredients. Rice is the main ingredient in the first one. I mean, in the stir-fried rice. And then eggs are going to be the main thing in the frittata. So it's like, I mean, these are all ingredients everybody has. So you can kind of add your own veggies or whatever that you want to. I won't be able to, like, talk to everybody. Coach B, I see you, Bill. What's up, Tracy? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. So for the first thing, you know what, it's kind of like TV, almost. I did a little bit of the prep ahead of time, chopped up some vegetables, got myself together. So we're going to do the quiche first. Couple things that you want to get ready for the quiche is your oven. You always want to preheat your oven, so we're going to go ahead and preheat it to 350. The quiche is going to bake for about 20 to 25 minutes on 350. Really, really simple. So with the quiche, like I said, I got a bunch of stuff prepped ahead of time so that way I won't be, you know, on live. Hey, Mama. Hey, Jennifer. Let's see. So I got a bunch of stuff prepped ahead of time so that way the live won't go over too long. But for the quiche today, these are some of the veggies that I had laying around that were about to go bad in my fridge. So I'm doing red peppers, green onions, purple onions, mushrooms. We got some roasted sweet potatoes. You can do regular potatoes if you like. I personally like sweet potatoes. They have a good flavor. And also, oh, cousin, that's a good idea. Maybe I'll do that next week. I'll go live with somebody that doesn't know how to cook, and we'll go through like an easy pasta dish or something. But back to what I was saying, I like sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes have a lot of flavor. They're a little bit better for you. I got some grated cheddar cheese here, and then I went ahead and also cooked up some basic breakfast sausage. This is going to be the HEB brand spicy. So as far as ingredients and measurements, we got a half a cup of bell peppers, red and green, half a cup of purple onions. We got a cup of the button mushrooms, 6 eggs. We're gonna have a cup of roasted butternut squash, roasted sweet potatoes. The thing about the sweet potatoes, you want to roast them ahead of time because they're not going to cook fully in your quiche and or your frittata. Again, I'm doing a frittata because I couldn't find pie crust. So let's get started assembling this. It's super easy, especially once you get to this point and you have all of your ingredients like prepped and ready to go. So I'm just gonna take all of my eggs and crack them. And we're gonna do, like I said, 6 eggs. The only other thing that I don't have here as far as ingredients that I will need is going to be a little bit of milk as well as pepper. Now I'm trying to cut back on my salt intake just because I'm getting a little bit older, you know, high blood pressure, all those things. So we're gonna have to do salt in this, and plus the sausage already has salt in it, so that's gonna give it some flavor too. All right, so we got our 6 eggs cracked in there. Let's grab some milk. And we are going to do, we're gonna do a cup of milk in this. And then from here, honestly, it's really kind of like throw all your ingredients in and go. Like I said, if you were doing this from start to finish, it may be a little more difficult because, you know, you're gonna have to prep all your items. You're gonna have to cut up your onions and your bell peppers to add it to the dish. But I will say with a quiche or frittata, you can literally add anything you want. I mean, you can add feta cheese, you can add spinach, you know, just kind of get creative, especially in a time like this where you're trying to need to like limit the amount of times you go to the store. Figure out whatever you want to put in it that's in your fridge already and kind of throw it in the pot. All right, so before I add all the ingredients, I'm gonna go ahead and whisk my eggs in the milk just to kind of break it up. The reason why you're going to add the milk to this is because it's going to give your eggs like a good fluffy texture. I mean, honestly too, when you're making scrambled eggs at home, I always add some sort of dairy to it as well, whether it be like heavy whipping cream, regular milk, 2%, whatever you want to. I have never added like an alternative milk, like almond or oat or anything like that. I would have to say if I did add one, it would probably be like almond milk. Oat milk has like a very distinct flavor, so you kind of want to steer clear of that. Since this is actually going to be a frittata, not a quiche, because like I said, I couldn't find. What's up, Max? I need you to teach me how to bake. If you were here, you could have showed me how to make a pie crust. Max is a phenomenal pastry chef. He works at a restaurant here in Austin. They're actually still doing to-go takeouts and stuff. So, Max, if you want to comment and let everybody know, you know, the details or whatever, please feel free, because we definitely want to continue to support like local businesses and restaurants. The Max stuff like looks bomb, for reals. Okay, I said oat milk, Jocelyn, not oatmeal. So like I said, I couldn't find the pie crust, so we are going to actually do a frittata, so to say, and we're going to bake it, and pretty much just like a 9-inch Pyrex dish. Little note to self, do not set Pyrex dishes on burners on the stove, even if they're remotely warm. During Christmas, I had a near-death experience with mac and cheese. It was sitting on the stove. The Pyrex exploded. Mac and cheese went everywhere. I was annoyed because mac and cheese is not cheap to make, but you know, you live and you learn. So what I'm going to do now, since I already whisked my eggs up with the milk, I'm just going to go ahead and add all my veggies. Again, we got a half a cup of green bells, a half a cup of red bells. Typically, I like to cook with the rainbow. I like for my food to look, you know, really, really pretty and colorful. We got a half a cup of purple onions. Same thing with button mushrooms. Super simple. Again, these are all ingredients that I had in the fridge. I didn't have to go and shop for anything today, with the exception of a pie crust that I did not get. Again, I did go ahead and preheat my oven to 350. This is going to cook for about 20 to 25 minutes. If you were using a pie crust, you want to do something. Oh, we can make a pie crust. Yes. If you were cooking with a pie crust, I would suggest, cousin, quit texting me and talking smack. If you were using a pie crust when making quiche, I highly suggest to blind bake it for about 8 minutes or so. And what you want to do is take your pie crust, your thawed pie crust out, and poke the bottom of it with a fork, so that way when you do bake it, it doesn't like fluff up, kind of like pizza does, you know, when you get the air bubbles in pizza crust or whatever. But yeah, you want to blind bake it also too, because when you're making a quiche, typically if you don't blind bake it for a few minutes prior to it, the crust actually won't get all the way done or cooked through once you add the eggs and everything else to it. So in the bowl we got our veggies chopped up. We're going to add our roasted sweet potatoes. And then as far as the measurement on the breakfast sausage, I'm using a half a pound of breakfast sausage. You can use turkey sausage, chicken sausage, whatever you would like. Yeah, I'm using a half a pound. And we are just about finished adding all of our ingredients. Like I said, this is something that you can do at the beginning of the week for meal prep. You can throw it in the fridge. And it's good for 5 to 6 days. Typically, it doesn't last that long in my house because I'm a breakfast person. I have to have breakfast first thing in the morning when I get up. So it doesn't last that long for me. And then we're going to do a half a cup of cheese. All right, so now that we got everything in here, we're just going to get it mixed up really good. I'm going to bring it a little bit closer to the camera. You see? Good stuff. Veggies, cheese, all the things. What is my cousin saying about my shirt? Thank you. You know, I try to like keep a good pattern going at all times. So y'all ask questions. Feel free to ask questions. The way I have my phone set up, I can answer any questions that you may have. Also, too, I'm going to be trying to do this. What up, Charles? Yes, I got on overalls. Also, I'm going to try to do these at least once a week throughout this whole situation and keep it going moving forward. But feel free to message me, DM me with like things that you possibly want to cook or you got questions about. So like I said, everything's all mixed up here in the bowl. We are going to pour it in our dish. And you know what? I'm actually going to lightly grease this dish. I'm just going to throw a little bit of vegetable oil in it. Just because we don't want it to stick. I'll use like a cap full. And what I typically do when I'm doing stuff like this is I'll take a paper towel or something or a napkin and just kind of like run it around the dish itself so that way, you know, it gets in all the corners, all that stuff. And you don't have an excess amount of cooking oil. All right, so see how that looks? Boom, done. Probably just looks like a Pyrex dish when I hold it like that. Okay, so let's go ahead, pour all this into my baking dish. And it looks super thick when it comes to like ingredients and stuff. But trust me, once it bakes and cooks up, it is going to firm up and look super tasty. It's going to taste good too. Fun things about this, the reason why I like to do quiche, the reason why I like to do frittatas and stuff. In the morning, I don't have a whole lot of time trying to get out the door. I don't have kids. I do have a dog. That's completely different. 4 legs, not 2. But lots of times you're like on the go. You have just enough time to like get up, get in the shower and go. So what I like to do is I typically like take my quiche or a slice of something like this and actually throw it in the oven while I'm getting in the shower. So my 8-10 minute shower, by the time I get out, you know, it's good, ready to go, and you can kind of eat it on the go. So, because I'm a professional, I went ahead at the time and actually made one of these. We're gonna have all the meal prep in this house. So this is what, it's a little hot. This is what your finished dish will look like. Boom. So like I said, this is something that you can do super quick, super easy. It'll last in the fridge, you know, for I would say 5 to 6 days. After that, I typically don't eat anything after about 5 or 6 days. But yeah, this is a great meal prep dish. This is something that I would literally pull all the vegetables, ingredients from my refrigerator. I didn't go to the store to get anything. And that's the whole point of doing this actual dish right now. So yeah, that's a frittata / quiche. If you got questions or anything, feel free to, yes, come through, prepare frittata. Max, exactly. You gotta be ready. You gotta be ready. So yeah, that's essentially how you make one. Super quick. If you're just joining, you got questions, you can obviously go back and watch the live. But if you got questions, feel free to DM me, give me a call, leave me a text message, whatever you would like. Honestly, that's gonna be good. I'm probably gonna have breakfast for dinner tonight. Jocelyn, thank you for tuning in again. Hey, Dawn. I don't know if I made this private. I think I did because I did have some people that are my friends that wanted to take a look, but the easiest way to allow them to view it is just to share it. So that way, Sean, what do you recommend for a drink while making this? Anything cold, how about that? So that's gonna encompass a little white wine. if you were actually making this for brunch, obviously you can do a mimosa, something like that. And typically, honestly, I like to do mimosas with different juices besides OJ. You guys get creative. Like, hey, Sarah Powers. You know what? Everybody, hello to everybody. Anna, how are you? But yeah, I mean, I like to get creative when it comes to mimosas and that kind of thing. I don't typically just always use orange juice. You can use pomegranate, you can use pineapple, a mixture of whatever you would like. Okay, so for the next thing we're going to be doing, we're going to do fried rice. I'm personally not going to add a, Sarah likes grapefruit. Sarah says grapefruit. So, I'm personally not going to add a protein to my fried rice today because I did do actual meal prep for myself earlier this week. So there's a ton of stuff in my fridge right now as far as protein. But I'm just going to do a veggie stir fry right now. I did go ahead again because I wanted to be prepared. Professional. What's up, Jade? How are you? Cousin. Okay, I'm a celebrity. I got like 40 people on my live. I did go ahead and prepare some of my veggies and stuff ahead of time, so that way we can speed this process along. Not that I don't want to hang out with you guys and chit chat all evening, but tonight is RuPaul's Drag Race. It's coming on at 7 o'clock, so I need to be prepared and ready for that. Cheap wine never tasted so good. Let's talk about that. Okay, so on my stir fry, let's step back. On my stir fry, I have some fresh cut off the cob corn. I typically don't like canned veggies. I know right now canned veggies are a big thing because we want to make sure that we have things that are non-perishable. But in the future, I would typically go with frozen veggies just because I feel like they hold a little bit better of a texture as opposed to, hey Kim, as opposed to canned vegetables. But I have some fresh cut off the cob corn. I got some button mushrooms. I got half of a purple onion. I got some cauliflower. This cauliflower actually I roasted 2 days ago because I had a head. I threw some olive oil and some lemon pepper seasoning on it and threw it in the oven, and that was that. So we're using some leftover cauliflower. I got some broccoli that I'm going to blanch. And if you guys don't know what blanch is, it's pretty much essentially you're going to boil the veggie just for a minute, couple minutes, and then shock it. Hey Katie, hey Jaren. Not cheap, economically friendly, right? But blanching essentially is a process where you throw a veggie in boiling water just for a few seconds to get it to the al dente spot. Al dente is going to be with a bite, with a crunch. You don't want your veggie to be mushy. We all got teeth. Some of us don't have teeth, so if that's the case, you just blend it or eat baby food. But yeah, and then once you shock it, once you blanch it for a couple seconds in hot boiling water, you're going to throw it in an ice bath. That's going to do two things. It's going to stop the cooking process. It's also going to retain the color. So like for green beans, broccoli, snow peas, anything that has like a good vibrant color, carrots, it's going to retain that color. And then I got some baby carrots I diced up. We got some water chestnuts and my rice. Now there are 1,000,003 kinds of rice out there. With me, I used just some long grain white rice that I had in the pantry. Now, the way I prepared this, let me see if I can get a spoon. The way I prepared this, so it's not super sticky, because lots of times when you do, or you see how it's kind of like falling apart, lots of times when you boil rice at home, it tends to clump up and stick together. So the way I prepared this ahead of time to ensure, hey Auntie Gwen, the way I prepared this ahead of time to ensure that it wasn't sticking together is I took it in my pot, I boiled it, I rinsed it like 4 or 5 times in warm water, and that's gonna pull out some of the starch in it. And once you do that, you're gonna go ahead, add your water to the pot, boil it like you normally would, and then about 3/4 of the way through the cooking process, took it off the heat, I rinsed it really quick with some cold water, and then threw it back on the heat again. So that way, like I said, what you're essentially doing is just pulling out more of the starch. So that way, it's not all clumped up and stuck together. So once I rinsed it and put it back on the heat, I just cooked it all the way through. I tested it with a fork to make sure that it had like an al dente like bite to it. I didn't overcook it. And then if there was any residual water in the pot, I didn't cover it or anything. I just went ahead and strained it off because we're going to utilize it we're going to cook it again in our wok. Look here. I didn't even know we had a wok. Boom. My roommate literally has everything. He's also Snapchatting me from the other room. And I was like, I'm making fried rice. And then I looked underneath the camera today and boom, we had a wok. What up, Cousin Reggie? Joe, how's it going? Yes, run into the water runs clear. Exactly. So that's what I did to prepare my rice. So what we're going to do now, we're going to go ahead and blanch this broccoli. Get this started. Like I said, you only want to throw it in here for a few minutes to allow it to just get al dente. While that's working, I'm going to give me some ice to create me an ice bath. For everybody that doesn't know, oh God, it's fine. It's just like things falling out the freezer. For everybody that doesn't know, what an ice bath is essentially equal parts. What up, Corbin? How are you? Thanks. Isaiah, hi. Oh, soaking rice overnight. Yeah, that'll alleviate some starch. Boom. Look, we got all kinds of professionals in here. So essentially, ice bath is just equal parts of ice and water. So we're gonna put some cold water over top of this, and then, honestly, in the time that I've done this broccoli is just about finished blanching. The only other thing I'm gonna add to my stir fry over here is obviously, you got soy sauce. I'm gonna use sesame oil to saute it in my wok just because it's gonna give it a good nutty, another extra layer of flavor. And I got some chili paste. Oh, fun fact, you guys, Max, if you want to tag the episode, comment on the episode, he was actually just on Chopped a month or so ago. He did fantastic. Like I said, he's got it together when it comes to the baking. All right, so yeah, we're good here, and we don't want to overcook this broccoli only because once we throw it in the wok, it is going to cook a little bit more and soften up. So we just want to give it a little bit of heat before we saute it. All right, boom. So look at that. And me, like I said, you can see like it's holding like a good vibrant green color. Before I put water. Jocelyn, you know what I did this week? I moved my fruit basket because you called me out last week. I definitely put some protein on top of my fruit. You know what, Jay, is so funny? I think I saw you post that you made chicken fried rice. Mom, who is oh, Yolanda. What up, Lorraine? I'm sure he's still got an old flip phone or something hanging out that he refuses to get rid of. Thank y'all for tuning in, though. Okay, so let's go ahead and chop up some red onion. Again, with chopping up onions, you always want to cut off your ends, cut it in half, cut off your ends. This is the core end of the onion right there. You never want to cut it all the way through, only because that's what's going to hold your onion together when you're doing the dicing method. Yeah, no, Max is awesome. Seriously, you guys, you should like stalk him on social media, that kind of stuff. His desserts look great. So let's chop this up with an onion or anything. I don't know if you guys saw last week's video. I taught you how to cut up an onion properly. You want to go in horizontal. I had to think about it. You want to go in horizontal, but this onion is a little like smaller, so I just did 2 cuts, and then you're going to go vertical across the top of the onion. And with you leaving that core on the back side of it, that's going to essentially give you a really good dice. So I went in, and now I'm going across, cut it. Again, you want to curl up your knuckles when you're cutting anything. That's going to ensure that you don't cut yourself. All right, now I'm going to show you this dice because when I went to culinary school, knife skills were a class that we took for the first quarter of culinary school, and we literally sat around and cut up onions and carrots and bell peppers and stuff. So this is what a good dice is going to look like. So boom. Now that we got that going, I'm going to open up my can of water chestnuts. With these, I did do the pre-diced ones, but you can get sliced, whatever you like. I like the diced ones just because they're a little bit smaller and you get more of that water chestnut texture throughout. What up, Mark? How are you? Hope all is well. Come on, knife skills, Billy. Yes. With water chestnuts, they do have a little bit of residual water in it. Hey, Cousin Tanya. So I'm going to go ahead and drain this off. All right, so let's go ahead and preheat our wok. And I'm going to go ahead and throw in a little bit of sesame oil. You want your wok to be good and hot when you're doing this. Just because fried rice and that kind of stuff, the veggies, you don't want to overcook them. You would still want them to have a really good like crunch to them. I would say I'll probably put in about 3 tablespoons. You know what? We're going to add just a little bit more. We're going to go 4 tablespoons. I'm going to do about 4 tablespoons because I do have a ton of rice over here. So we're going to do that while it's preheating. I'm going to finish dicing up my onion. And lastly, I do have some fresh ginger that I'm going to grab that I just thought about that I need to use. So let's grab some ginger. If you can grab ginger right now, you guys, it's a really good thing to add to like teas and stuff. Just kind of like a health benefit, only because, you know, everybody's trying to do anything they can for their immune system while all this stuff is going around. Ginger has a super intense flavor, so I'm not going to add a whole bunch. I'm sure a lot of people don't work with fresh ginger a lot at home. Aubrey, what's up? I miss you too. A lot of people don't have a lot of Don Stahl. A lot of people don't have a fresh ginger knob sitting around, like dried ginger and stuff like that. Works just fine. But one thing, if you didn't know, yes, you're right. You can never have too much sesame oil. One thing, if you didn't know, a good way to, or easy way to peel ginger is essentially just use the back of a spoon. And it will take that peel right off. You know what? I can't do it over the thing, so we're going to do it here. Let's turn this on. We got a little smoke action going on. So now that this is heating up, actually, I'm going to go ahead and start throwing in some of the veggies that I don't mind getting a little softer, like my onions. Carrots are going to be fine if we go ahead and throw those in right now. And I'm also going to go ahead and dice up my mushrooms while I'm at it. The ginger can go in at the last minute. Ginger and garlic are both two ingredients that you definitely don't want to throw in too early or overcook, because they're going to add like a very bitter, harsh taste to your dish. Come on, we get a little flip. Let's turn it back up, get some heat going on. So what's everybody listening to? What's everybody watching? Please don't say Tiger King. I get it. Everybody's watching Tiger King. I got through 1 episode of it, and it's not for me. Nope. I've been watching a lot of reruns. I started Game of Thrones over, but I definitely need some new stuff to watch over again, or watch now. Alright, so we got everything pretty much chopped up and ready to go. I'm going to finish peeling this ginger. And to be completely honest, it's being a little bit of a BLTCH right now. So we're going to take a knife and just peel it. Alright. And like I said, the good thing about stir fry, you can use anything you have in your fridge. It doesn't have to be, you know, your typical. I know a lot of times people make stir fry and they get the frozen bag of peas, corn and carrots. Like, that's not necessarily the only thing you can put in the stir fry. Put whatever you want to. Get creative with it. Alright. Since my cauliflower is already cooked and I don't want my broccoli to get too soft, still on Viola Davis game. Ozark. Okay. I have to check out Ozark. I've heard like that 6 or 7 times in the last day, so maybe I'll give Ozark a try. So I'm going to go ahead and add my rice to it. I made enough rice to feed an army. That was about 5 cups of rice. I don't know if you guys are familiar with like how rice cooks, pasta cooks, that kind of thing. That was essentially 1.5 cups of rice. Ended up being about 5 cups. 5 cups of cooked rice, 1.5 cups of uncooked rice. Law and order. You know what, cousin? I love you, but I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know if you guys missed out, if there are people just joining. I did make a quiche in the first part of this video. And now we moved on to fried rice. Come on, flick of the wrist. You know what? Here in a minute, I might actually add just a little bit more sesame oil. And for me, I like for my rice to have like a good crunchy like texture to it. So I try not to stir it all that much when I am cooking it, just because I like that crunchy texture. Let's go ahead. We're going to add in our mushrooms to it. They'll cook up really nice. I don't want them to get too soft as well. And then we're going to chop up our ginger as well. Again, I'm going to try to do these videos at least once a week while this whole quarantine is going on, and then after that, I still want to keep up with it. But what I need you guys to do is give me suggestions. I mean, I, for myself, personally cook a lot of the same things. Oh, red curry coconut soup with shrimp. Okay, that's interesting. As far as any tips for that, always get shrimp that's not like pre-cooked. A lot of people make the bad choice of getting flick of the wrist. Yeah. Now a lot of people make the bad decision of getting shrimp that's pre-cooked. Always get fresh shrimp if you can. All right, there we go. Now we're sticking with these. I feel like I do need a little bit more sesame oil, so I'm just gonna make a well right here and add just a little bit more to it, so that way I can kind of like stir it around and incorporate everything. And again, sesame oil is going to add a really great flavor to the fried rice. Other than that, for your red curry soup, if you want to, your red curry with shrimp, if you want to take the time to do a seafood broth, since you're going to add seafood to it as your protein, do a fresh seafood broth. So get like your shrimp, peel your shrimp. If you have, the extra coins to get crab legs or something, get you some crab legs and do like a basic mirepoix and just make your own homemade seafood broth. That's just going to add like another level of flavor to it. All right, so we're going to add in the last bit of some of our veggies. We're going to do the corn. We're going to do the broccoli that I blanched. Let me straighten this off. Another one of the reasons why I'm not adding any of my other liquids to the dishes yet, because they are going to steam up really good. So when it comes to like the chili paste as well as like the soy sauce, I want to add those at the end because they're going to steam really great. They're going to add, a little more cooking to like the broccoli and everything else. You guys, this is a big pot of fried rice over there. All right. It's actually looking really good. I may have to like knock on the neighbor's door. Like, I don't know if y'all can see this, but this pan is literally almost full of fried rice. And now my dog Wasabi is in the kitchen. I gave her bones to get her out from underneath my feet earlier. I guess she's over it. Okay. As y'all notice, I don't do a lot of cooking with recipes. So when it comes to the soy sauce, I'm going to say this is probably going to equal about a quarter of a cup. And while that is kind of cooking into the rice, I'm going to add some pepper. You know what? We're going to do this the right way. We got a pepper mill. We're going to add some fresh cracked pepper. Vanessa. Yeah, make that money, boo. Andre, thank you. I try to like pull a little look out the closet every now and then. So we're going to add some fresh cracked pepper. We are also going to do a little bit of this chili paste. Like I said, I'm not adding salt to this only because I'm trying to watch my salt intake. So we're going to alleviate that salt step. And I also got low sodium soy sauce. You can get the regular stuff if you want to, but I got low sodium. This is one of my new favorite things Actually, we'll get a finger thing. This is one of my new favorite things to add to everything. It's just chili paste. I don't know why all of a sudden I'm obsessed with it. We're gonna do a couple teaspoons. That was about 2.5 teaspoons. Give that a good stir. Like they do on the cooking show. I wish you guys were here to smell it. It just smells so great. And as you can see, I mean, total time, obviously I had some of the prep already done. This is taking me, what, 10 minutes or so to cook? And we are just about finished. I'm gonna go ahead and add my cauliflower now. Like I said, that was already pre-cooked. With that, I just wanted to like heat it through. I didn't necessarily want to cook it any more than what it already was. And boom, let's get a fork and try this. See how we doing over here on flavor. Ain't nothing come up out of my kitchen that ain't seasoned. Start over and see me that batch you're working on now. Seriously, this is probably the biggest batch of fried rice I ever made. I don't know how it happened. It happened. Hoisin sauce. You know what? I have hoisin sauce in the cabinet too. Let's see what we tasting like. And then, you know what? Hoisin may be another option here. This is real hot. Oh, Jesus. You know what? I think we're good. I'm going to add just a little more soy. But I like where we're at flavor-wise right now. Again, this is a super simple dish that I made. This isn't anything that's super expensive. This is all stuff that I also had in my cabinet as well. Because right now, like I said, we're trying to limit the amount of times we go to the store and potentially infect or get infected with COVID. So this is all stuff that I had in my cupboard. You guys want to take a look? Smell-o-vision. I think that's it. That's all I got for you. Again, I'll probably do this next Thursday. So be on the lookout. I'll do another post on my Facebook to tell you what's going to be going on over the next week. What's up, Uncle Vernon? Hope y'all are safe and healthy. Over the course of the next week, you guys, please feel free to DM me. Ask me any questions. If you got some stuff in your cabinet that you have no clue what to do with while you're stuck at home and you just do not want to. I have never tried out for Chopped. I did send in some content and apply for guys' grocery games a dozen or more times, and I didn't get picked. So fingers crossed. I keep doing these videos. I'm going to upload them to my YouTube. I'm not going to edit them or anything. They're just going to be essentially the content that's going to be recorded here from Facebook, and I will post where you can find my YouTube, but it's just my name, nothing creative. But yeah, if you guys have any questions of like ingredients that you have or things that you want to oh, Cousin Bernard. I thought it was Uncle V, sorry. If you guys have any questions of like ingredients that you have in the fridge that you don't know what to do with, or you know you're tired of eating the same old things, or you need some like meal prep ideas, then feel free to reach out. But like I said, next Thursday is going to be the next day that I do this, unless I get a wild hair and decide to just jump on live and, you know, let you guys kind of see what I'm cooking for myself. Right now, we're trying to save all them coins, so running to the store in a few days to get ingredients is not an option. But yeah, I'm glad you guys tuned in. If you missed this and you're just not joining, Kelly Scott, then feel free to go back and watch it. Give you something to do for like 37 minutes, almost 38 minutes. Yes, I would snatch that check, okay? Reach out to some people. I got my running shoes ready. I'm ready for that good old grocery cart to run around, grab some items. But yeah, comment. You can't do like, subscribe, because this is not what this is for, but you can share it if you like what you saw. And then, yeah, you guys come back and see me next week. Happy eating. Stay safe.